Colin and I started Julavka 20 years ago, we had no money and we had to build a community. And one of the parts of that community we focused on was women, because we realised that they made all the decisions. So that was very important for us to build the brand. So nothing has changed. And what today on the panel, we have Cass, we have Vance, who represents Speed Rack, which has changed the face of women in the bar industry in America. We have Burdi and Annette from Kenya, and I'm going to now hand over to you, Cass.
Oh, for energy for right now. How's it going? Yes. Welcome everyone to the much awaited third season of Ajabu here in South Africa. Woo! If you didn't know that we are sitting currently in the hottest cocktail spot in Joburg in Syntax, well, welcome to all of you. I hope that you guys have a beverage in hand, and if you're not keen on drinking, please do hydrate yourself with a fabulous glass of H2O. Today we are joined by an incredible panelist of wonderful human beings who are going to share so much incredible insight as to their journeys, their tips, their tricks, all of that jazz. Thank you everyone for joining us. If you are just a cocktail enthusiast, or if you're a drink slinger alike, or if you're just an entrepreneur who likes to hang out and have a lekker dop, I'm super excited to be here with you guys and to get the conversation started. So, my name is Cassandra Eichoff. I am the principal and director at the European Bartender School. I am thoroughly invested in education, and I am a fearless female making shit happen for herself in the industry. And it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys today. And I want to kick off this session just by quickly introducing the topic for today: cocktail competitions. Wow. Yeah. Wow. They are a one-way ticket to getting noticed, to build a career, and let's be honest, sometimes also a free trip to that exotic place where the minibar might be a little bit questionable, but we still enjoy the ride and we still dollar what we must. We are experiencing a huge variety in terms of change and how competitions are being executed, and most importantly today we are obviously going to be talking about women and our fearless women that are not only on the panel, including Vance. But these lovely humans are going to be giving us all of the juicy insights. This seminar is fabulously hosted and sponsored by Diageo Bar Academy. So can we give a big round of applause to DBA? It's so cute because I wrote clap in my notes. Now let's just quickly get into the groove of things. So we are exactly here because we want to spill the tea. We want to get that further insight as to how we can change the game. And most importantly today we're going to be covering chats about career growth, gender barriers, competition strategy, and how we can create more inclusiveness and supportive space for the next generation of badass female and male bartenders. While we have got some juicy questions out for the panelists, we're going to open up the floor later on, closer to the end, for Q's and A's. So if you have any questions ready in your mind, write them down, and then we'll pass around the mic a little bit later. All right? Can I get a yes, queen? Can I get a yes, king? Yeah, okay, so let's meet the panelists. All the way right next to me here, freshly imported from Washington, D.C. We have Vance Henderson. Vance brings a wealth of experience as a competition MC, industry mentor, and spirits ambassador. He's been guiding the light for countless bartenders and rides the wave like the example of men that we need in this industry. He is actively advocating for not only females, but for men. And Vance, I know that you have mentored so many incredible talents before. So can you give us a quick little insight as to who you are, what do you do, and what's your tea?
The tea. Well, how are we doing out there, beautiful people? Nice. Again, so very happy to be here at Ajabu. This is a great microphone, by the way. Listen, sound is everything, and this is fantastic, all right? I am honored to be on this stage without question. I am not a female, and I must say I was apprehensive at first about being on this panel because of the topic, because I'm not a woman. But I had to think about it and think that it's not about me, right? It's about what the cause is, it's about what we can do to contribute. So I want to say I'm very happy to see all of the males that we have in the house in support of this particular topic.
Yes.
Because it's not just the women that need to do the work for themselves, all right? If they didn't need the help, they wouldn't need us, right? They need us to help with this topic, all right? So I'm so glad to see everyone in the house in particular. As stated, I'm the National Ambassador for Hendrick's Gin, that peculiar gin from Girvan, Scotland. I've been an ambassador for the last 12 years or so. Some would say award-winning. I won the Spirit Award for U.S. Best Ambassador 2023. Been a bartender for a long time, producing events, executing events, really creating, stirring energy is what I love to do with a microphone. And as I said, I'm very honored to be here with this particular topic because it's needed, and I'm looking forward to contributing how I can over the next couple of minutes. Thank you so much.
Wait, yeah, this one's right. Yummy. Next up, we've got the unstoppable Burdi Geiling. You are the Joburg Queen of Note. You are a multi-talented bartender, a seasoned competitor, an all-round industry contributor. You've been in the trenches, girl. Yeah. You've seen the sparkles. You've seen the dirt smudges of the competition world, and yet still you manage to stay involved and represent the queendom of our market, and just by truly being your authentic self. Burdi, you've not only competed in competitions, but you've also understood the competition setup. You understand the back of house perspective, and we are very much looking forward to seeing your intake in terms of what we are going to be chatting about. So, Burdi, please introduce yourself.
Okay, so hi guys.
Hello.
So my name is Burdi. I have been in the industry for about 8 years now. And yeah, so I've been back and forth in the bar, and then basically now I work for a company called Just Short, where we produce non-alcoholic cocktails. So I'm in charge of production and logistics. So it's a little bit of a different take on, you know, the bartending world. So I think that's kind of fun. Yeah, most of you guys know me. I am a bit of an introvert and I hate public speaking. But I'm here. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. You know?
Wonderful.
And then last but not least, we have the incredible, freshly imported from Kenya, Annette. Annette is a powerhouse mixologist with a force behind some of the most creative bar programs on the continent. She's no stranger to cocktail competition circuits. She resides as the current world-class champion of Kenya. Can I get a hi-ya? She knows firsthand how these events go, and she knows exactly how to launchpad herself up and go straight into battle zone. Annette, I know that you faced a couple of what the hell's going on in here, but you are now here with us, and we're so keen to hear what you've got to say.
Oh, thank you, Kaz. You introduced me so nicely. Do I need to say anything about myself?
Yeah!
So, my name is Annette Mulama. I am a bartender at Hero, and currently the Bartender of the Year 2024. Hey! So I got the chance to represent Kenya in Shanghai, which was my first time outside Kenya. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here, so happy to be at Ajabu, and so happy to have this whole lovely community, super lively this time in the evening. And yeah, can't wait to see how this conversation goes.
Yeah! Again, thank you everyone for being here, and just a reminder, if your drinks are a little bit low, just go to Evid over there and then he will sort you guys out, because we are going to be talking some serious, interesting elements in this chat here, and let's jump straight into it. So the first topic that we're discussing is the importance of cocktail competitions for career growth. Competitions are not only a pressure test for your creativity, they are a fundamental entity to fast-tracking a bartender's career. May you be on stage smashing a dozen drinks in your fastest pace possible, or may it be the golden presentation that you believe is the next best community project, or simply just treating the competition like it's another day at work. We as bartenders, we have come to see a variety of different aspects in bartending, and not only have they opened up doors for us, but they have also we've seen ourselves diversify within our bar career. So the first question goes to Annette. Being the current reigning champion of Kenya's world-class division, how have things progressed in your career since winning this title?
Oh, so winning world class. My first thought, becoming a bartender, before I even went to bar school, I watched world class on YouTube and I was like, oh my goodness, if I get a job and this is happening, I'm gonna join it. And then, yeah, it just so happened, I got in my job, 5 months in it, world class was put right in my face. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. So, winning world class has gained me a name in the industry. So I was there for about 3 years trying to win, and then so now that one I got known in Kenya, and the judges would, the Diageo brand ambassadors would see me and be like, oh, we know her, we've seen her. So winning it gained me recognition globally, and it has helped me have trust also in myself in creating cocktails. Right now, a guest would sit in front of me and be like, make me a drink that's not on the menu, and I wouldn't freak out. I used to freak out.
Yeah.
So that gave me recognition, and it has helped me build a heavy network, because when you are in on a global stage, I got to meet 45 bartenders represented by different countries, which means today I could go to Indonesia and I know Aris and Jaya is there. And we get to connect on Instagram, we get to know about what each one of us is doing. And if I have a question, I'm free to shoot it, because then we've already met in person, and now meeting via social media, talking via social media has become more easier. And also, I've gotten the opportunity to represent brands via social media. I'm a lover of the camera. I'm always just waiting to see how will the reel come out. How will the reel come out? Yeah. So that has gained me. Yeah, that has gained me. Let's say I would say side money. Because then it's like, oh yeah, it's Women's Day, we need you to do this. Yeah, I get to do a video, I get to represent a brand. So yeah, that has helped me get into that space.
I love it what you're saying is brand partnerships. That's essentially why we do competitions, right? So that we can get to work with these brands and we can get the inside strategy, what's going to be happening. Where can we get involved, right, Colin? Get involved, bruv. Yeah. If I can relate to my personal world-class experience, was exactly that. You know, there was me putting myself out there, and then next moment, anything education related, and do was literally floating me, yo, Cass. What's up? And it's wonderful because you essentially get to really recognize a variety of different strengths within your skill set. So it's not just about making cocktails, but it's about what else you have to offer as a being in your strength set. And Burdi, you've done a fair share of cocktail competitions, everything from small to big, short-term investment, long-term investment. And speaking of world class, this is definitely a long-term investment. This is something that you work for months and months and time. I think the World Class Brief just recently came out now for this year. It's a very tight deadline.
Very, very, very tight deadline.
I get on it.
That time, man. Yeah. So, Burdi, you have also developed so beautifully in this industry space, and you've gone from bartender to beverage director to events manager to production manager. There's so many different things, and I love that about you because you've just never stopped growing. Tell us, how has competing in competitions really influenced your career direction?
So first off, it actually just helped me become more confident in actually speaking to people. Because being a bartender, you're speaking to a lot of people all the time, but now I'm in a position where I'm in charge of production, so now I'm dealing with like distributors and all of that. So it's the back of house that you guys don't see, and selling. So yes, we sell drinks to people, but I have to sell like a product. And I feel like because competitions, you know, they put you out there, you have to just be in the moment and be like, cool, I'm doing this, and keep moving, you know, just keep moving, keep growing. And that's what I feel about like competitions have done for me in my career. Yes, fair enough, I don't bartend often, but you know,
Annette, does she bartend often at home for you at least? Yes. Yeah.
It counts.
Okay, cool, fair enough. I know I'm super lost. I'm just like, okay. I'm a personal bartender. And it's also,
Yes.
I look at the two of us and we're so different. And it's beautiful because again, we're everybody's a little bit like diverse. I'm not as outgoing, but I know exactly what I want in life and I work extremely hard. So, and I'm super happy to be a part of competitions because again, networking is super, it's helped me a lot. Yeah.
I mean, it's networking, it's putting yourself out there, it's using the opportunity to have that own personal creative outlets.
Yes.
You know, you might not be able to sling drinks every single night behind the bar, but when that competition stage kicks up, it's like, yo, mic drop, let's go.
Done.
And also,
Exactly.
obviously, we also compete because we want to stay relevant.
Yes, exactly.
You know? How have you managed to stay relevant over this time within your field, and also like seeing how the merger between competitions and relevancy goes?
So like I said, world class, I placed top 6 in South Africa, being the only female. And you know, it again really boosted my confidence, and I was like, actually, Burdi, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
And you will do it. And a lot of people are now coming up to me, and they're like, how do you do it? How, you know? So I think again, doing a competition, and whether you come last, it's still doing it and being a part of something big, and just, you know, putting yourself out there. So.
Exactly, you gotta put yourself out there. Get involved, brothers and sisters. Get involved. Yes. Now, there is majority of the bartending competitions are always quite mixology focused. Now, Vance is going to give us a little bit more insight into speed rack. You are the firecracker. You carry an immense.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, did you not see him last night at Smoky Kills? I saw the Instagram story. No, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe not. But essentially, you are such an incredible presence on stage, and you get to see a lot of women fight for their life, almost. They're fighting for a goal. Everyone wants to be at the top, and everyone wants to make drinks fast, and they want to make them in good quality. Can you give us a little bit more insight as to what Speed Rack is and how it has been able to shape women's leverage in competitions in terms of career growth?
Absolutely. Thanks so much for that. So, I serve as host for the Speed Rack Tour in the United States. I've been in the position now for the last 3 years, following a legendary chain of hosts that have blessed that stage, both male and female. I always start out, once I introduce myself on stage, and saying that it's not about the brand that I personally represent, and it's not about myself. It's about the ladies and the women and the people on that stage that are about to give it their absolute all. So Speed Rack is probably without question the most known, probably the most successful, the biggest all-women speed cocktail competition on the planet. Started by Lynette Marrero and Ivy Mix in the US. They're in season 13. It's held in the United States, but they've also gone to Mexico. They've been in Puerto Rico. Australia is on the map, and they've been in other countries. And we are working our damnness. Yes. And I believe it is going to come to a Jabu. So we have to put that in the atmosphere so we ensure that it happens. Put it out in the atmosphere. We want to manifest that Speed Rack is going to happen on this continent. All right. So that being said, they go from maybe 6 different cities where they'll do rounds of speed competitions. There'll be the ladies come in, they do trainings weeks and months in advance. You'll kind of get this litany of cocktails that you kind of have to memorize, right? And then they go through these rounds by elimination, trying to see who is the fastest. Can you make the cocktail the fastest in the most delicious way and receive the least amount of penalties? For everything that you do wrong or that the judges feel that you get incorrect, you get seconds added to your time. So the goal is for you to get the absolute lowest time in making the best round of drinks that you can. And yes, at the base, it's making drinks, which is simple for us as bartenders and you ladies as bartenders, but doing that under pressure. Doing that in front of 500, 800, 1,000 eyeballs looking at you. Doing that and then presenting those drinks or that round of drinks to legendary industry luminaries and literally have to stand in front of them as if it were a firing squad and take all the criticism and critique about what you spent weeks and months putting your all in to make it the absolute best you can, right? And to not take that personal because it's just a part of what the competition is. That's not easy. Even though the making it is easy, the whole process is not easy. So in the capacity of host, I try my best, one, for the event, to stir and create an atmosphere of a certain energy, of a certain vibe, of good feels, of good vibes. One, because the event itself deserves that. And secondly, and more importantly, is because the women that bless and grace that stage with their skill and their talent, they deserve that, right? They deserve my energy, and they deserve everyone's energy that's in that room or that auditorium, giving them all the good vibes. So I will always say, like, they need to, you in the audience, that you need to be loud, you need to be proud. These ladies that are giving their all on the stage need to hear you and they need to feel you, right? Because they're giving their all on that stage, and we need to give them our all because they deserve it, right?
Yeah.
Right. And all of that is done on a tour, and of course they are raising money for breast cancer research and awareness. So not only did it come on the scene at a time because women did not have a platform in our industry. They didn't, right? They give them this platform, they completely changed the game over the course of 13 to 15 years. And now it's the biggest, and they've raised millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for this phenomenal cause. And the alumni list of women that have come through Speed Rack, the regional finals, the national finals at Tales of the Cocktail, that have gone on to run their own bar programs, that have gone on to be brand ambassadors. That B almost got me, which I saw my kung fu on it. It's incredible to see the fruit that has come from this tree that is Speed Rack. And I'm completely honored to offer what little I can to help create an energy in the room and to give those ladies on the stage everything that I have.
Yes. You're just talking and I'm just like, we gotta get this guy back down here.
Back to the right.
Vance, that's amazing because you're speaking you're speaking so many different levels to us as women. Like we want to be able to have that support because we know that this is also something that fuels ourselves.
Yeah.
It fuels that confidence. It gets us to be going out there. And over the past couple of years, we've seen an intense growth in female representation within cocktail competitions and a variety of other competitions as well. I'm super stoked to see that the ladies are getting more and more confident. We are coming out there, we're bringing those cocktail kits, we are hoying. If you don't know what hoying means, not rolling drinks essentially, but we are hoying. We have, to some extent, also have started creating our own support groups and our own communities and a variety of sisterhoods and mentorship programs and scholarships that have organically grown just because we know we as women, we need that extra bit of support. We love supporting each other. And we are definitely seeing this growth steady and slowly, and also seasonal. And there are still a couple of barriers that we face as women in the competition world. So, Vance, can you give us a little bit more input in terms from a brand perspective? How have competitions evolved over the last couple of years, especially in your role as a brand ambassador? This is the tough question. This is the big question we spoke about earlier. And how have you seen the evolution of gender bias turn, look at the notes, see, proper planning prevents poor performance, or not that, yeah. How have you seen the evolution of gender bias turn into a celebration of diversity and authenticity? And how has that allowed female competitors to detach from the idea of male dominancy in competitions?
Did you all get that question?
Yeah.
First part, the evolution of competitions, it's incredible. I mean, world class, has set a standard. MIB, you can go on Expedition Cocktail, like there are so many out there, and they feed a different need, right, within our industry. Whether they're surrounded around a particular spirit, particular category, around creativity, around telling stories. Like you can go on and on about what inspires these different competitions. When you go to gender bias, you go to those who were in the roles, right? Those back in the day, these early competitions, who were the ones that created them, right? Who were the people that were in the administration, that were in the management roles, that were in the directorship roles, that came up with the ideas, right? And who were they looking for, and who were in the leadership roles of bars that were able to be chosen, right? We want to go to this bar because it has a name. All right, well, if you've got this one particular bar and this bar has a name and you want them to be a part of it, who's then leading the bar? It's a male. It wasn't a female. So you see this trickle effect of everyone who's kind of in a position. It's male, 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 from the creativity to those that are on the stage, to those that win. And you see an evolution over the course of time of women, one, being a part of the competitions, then taking on more roles within the bar scene itself, which means that they then step up within leadership in the bar or the account that they then work in, which means that they then find themselves on the stage to then compete and to perform, and then ultimately they win. And this, you see the evolution and then this growth over time. So it's birthed out of a place of necessity, out of need, out of something being missing, and that's a particular face, and that's the woman's face. And now you see that it's there because they are in the bars, they are running beverage programs, they are managing beverage programs, they are winning competitions, they are becoming brand ambassadors, they are becoming leaders and owners of their own spirits, and it just continues to move on. So the need, the lack thereof then creates a need, the need then produces the faces, and now the faces can then be celebrated because they win. And you see a particular, I'm not saying that it's more or that it's less, but you see a very unique passion and determination. Now, I'm not a woman, so I can't speak from a woman's perspective, but I can only speak from what I see. I see a particular passion and a particular creativity that only women can do, that comes only from that strive and that struggle of wanting to be seen, of wanting to win, of wanting to be heard. And men can't do that because we've got it. We're there. It's automatic, right? You can flip that to diversity that we see in the US when it comes to colorism, black, white, race, whatever it is. It's very similar tones when it comes to male versus female in a space like we're talking about. But again, ultimately that brings us to this opportunity of being able to celebrate, which is a beautiful thing, you know? It's sad that there is a need, but that creates an opportunity for us to continue to strive to be better and to be broader and to be more inclusive. And that's where we are. We are not where we were 10 years ago, not in the 90s, certainly not in the 80s, not in the 70s. We're not there. We've gone leaps and bounds, but we've still so much further to go. And we can't become complacent. So we celebrate our wins, we celebrate the faces, we celebrate the accolades and the striving and the winning which you all do, and we continue to push forward and to encourage more.
Yeah.
These bees, man.
Again, There's so many incredible points that you mentioned, and you know the way that I relate to it personally was, again, not being an active bartender, but representing the educational part of bartending and still being there in the pits in the morning session, day shift, yeah, teaching these guys how to make these drinks and doing all these things, and then finally also putting myself into a competition space. I always just felt like, you know, I'm just getting chosen because I'm a chick. You know, I'm just, you know, ticking KPIs for brands. And it's so nice to now get to this point where I don't have that mindset anymore. I'm not getting invited just because I'm a girl or because I am a leading lady. I've, to some extent, have almost created that name for myself to be like, I don't need to feel this way. I am just here and I'm being myself and I'm pushing forward because I deserve a spot at the table just like everyone else.
Period.
Right? And Annette, is in Kenya, we have got this incredible growth of fantastic representation, wonderful Umandla power, and so many amazing women that are so talented. And I can only take that the competition as a fellow woman has not only become a must for the industry, for you to put yourself out there and to get that level of recognition, but it's also become a beacon of light because it opens up doors. Just like you said, it opened up that door for you to travel, it opened up the door for you to get more contacts and build a bigger bar family. So how does that level of representation of male to female role models in Kenya make an impact on encouraging ladies to join more competitions?
Backdating. When I first walked into a space where we're doing the community challenge, and we have all these Diageo brand ambassadors speaking to us, I was the only female. So that was like, oh my goodness. Oh, I hope they don't ask me questions. I didn't know what accordion was. So getting into that space, this is how I would say our market is, or rather how I find it. When you don't speak, nobody's gonna come to you.
Say it again.
When you don't speak, nobody's gonna come to you.
Say that again.
Nobody will ask you, how are you? How did you get in here? How old are you in the industry? What do you need your help with? So being a curious bartender and someone who's very inquisitive, I was able to handpick a female that I thought, oh, this woman might be of help to me. And she sort of guided me to the guy who's like big in cocktails, big in the industry. And he was a guy whose heart is so full. I call him my career dad because he took me through the steps that I needed to. And he was like, oh yeah, you're the only female here, but I see your passion, you're creative, go on, go on, go on. And apparently he was the representative of my restaurant for Diageo, so he used to come there a couple of times. And he was just like, go, 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 don't miss out on being there next year. And that sort of put me on a certain level because I always showed up like every other year. Another thing, there's also Kelvin, who's my bar manager right now. He also took me through steps. He borrows me his bar books and he will tell me, he will give me critiques, he will give me the positive aspect of it. And like last year, he was like, it's now or never. This year you must get how to do anything to win this.
That's dope.
And that pushed me. I was like, oh yeah, he's in support. And if I needed anything, he was just like, yeah. And if I needed time, because of course, when you're doing a competition like World Class, it takes a lot from you. It takes your mind, it takes your time, your ability to present a drink in front of judges and people watching you, and you have all these lights and cameras. It's hella crazy, and you need that support because towards the global stage, it's a lot of sleepless nights. You wake up at 3 a.m. and you can't go back to sleep till it's 5 a.m. because you're just thinking of that failed cocktail. Or like, what can I do to make it more? Or you speak to someone and they say, oh, okay, what else are you adding on to that? And you're like, oh, that was my winning one. So yeah, there's that. And Samia, do other question.
No, you can carry on. I just wanted to showcase that I am.
The questions you later.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, and so
And he will answer questions.
I also met another female role model who was the world-class bartender in Kenya in 2013. Her name is Samia, and she's also so lovely. She took me through the steps towards me heading to the global competition, and she was there for me. She was there like, yeah, ready to show up. And I feel like in our market, the females kind of pull back when they have a question, or they're just like, oh, you've already been there, I can't be there, I'm not like you and stuff, but they don't get that. My first time on stage, the jig almost fell from my hands. I was just like, yeah, and I got on stage and I just wanted to cry, but then building up to that, being comfortable, like posting, I post on social media, but I used to post myself only, like oh yeah, just me, a cute face. I never posted my work. So I started doing that, and that gave me the confidence to be on stage and to not mind all these other people looking at me and just be myself. So yeah, I guess so. And right now, my experience with the females in our industry is I've met a few, and the Diageo brand ambassador, I traveled with females to Shanghai, and we connected. It's just like girls trip out of the group. So we connected much, and with their influence, we are able to like bring in more females. So our project is bringing in more females and training them and giving them the confidence of being on stage, of creating cocktails, and yeah, being the badass. So
Yes.
we are really looking forward to yeah, we're looking forward to build a female community in this 2025. We see how far it can go. So far I just get like a few are like, oh my god, how did you do it? And yeah, I hope in November I'm gonna have a nice feedback. Yeah.
Do you want to spill some of the beans in terms of how you guys are fostering a bigger outreach to females in the world-class community in Kenya? Is there any cool projects that we can be looking out for? How can we also support you guys in this, from this side of the continent?
Oh yeah. So there's no much beans to spill, but then it's more on a personal level, because I'm talkative, and when we have all these community days, I show up, and most of the females, I think they feel more confident or to come speak to me, because maybe I'm a bit younger, so I'm just probably on their level. And then, so basically, mainly that's it right now. But then we're looking to have, you can help us, because you have the European Bartending School skills, techniques. I guess that's where the fear comes from, because you're like, I can't shake as good as that guy can. I can't shake as good as Lisa can. Yeah, so.
Amazing. So you're literally leading by example. You're leading by example, and you're inspiring people to do what they need to do in order to put themselves out there. And leading by example, Burdi, you are just as much of a incredible being who not only, like you said, you classify yourself towards more into the introverted space, but you also understand that there is such a huge emotional investment that we put into these competitions, and not to shame the boys, like I know that you guys also do your tang, and you do the tangs, you do more tangs, but we girls, we just put a little bit into it. We just like we just in there mostly just because of also our own spiritual dynamic. So Burdi, how do you find that having this emotional attachment to competitions, how does it challenge your work-life balance with so many weeks of preparation and so much little time for yourself? How do you find that balance? And also, have you come across any sort of resources that have helped you make sure that you are balancing both competition anxiety, preparation stage, the confidence to get onto that stage, and also all of the work that you do after the competition?
100%. So I have notes. So for me, if I'm giving it my all in like a competition, leading up to it, obviously that's reading the brief, understanding what it's gonna involve, and making sure you're like ready mentally and physically, because we all know as bartenders, we work on our feet 24/7, but in a competition space, it's not just working, it's thinking about the next steps that you're going to do. Because sometimes, ooh, there's a bee, I'm so sorry.
You good.
So sometimes within a competition you would get 2 sets of, so like you'll have a Don Julio challenge and the next set will be like a Johnny Walker challenge. So you have to be thinking all the time. And I also find it that you have to take a moment to breathe and step out. So you're going to be in the prep room and you're going to be prepping and all of that. But then just take a moment and go outside, stand in the parking lot and breathe. It's super important. That's what I feel. And also just have a glass of water, man. Just have a glass of water. Just literally have a glass of water, and then also stop drinking so much. I get it, you're tasting all of these like cocktails and all of that, but you have to have that balance.
Yeah.
Because if you the next day come into a competition and you're hungover, you're not going to give it your all. You're not going to be there. You're going to be 50% there and 50% being like, oh, I wish I was in bed, type thing. So yeah, drink water, have a salad, take a walk, and maybe do some stretches before the actual competition. I wish I did that for World Class Finals, because it was quite an intense time, and I was just go, 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 go. And I didn't actually stop and breathe. So yeah, that's my advice.
Wonderful.
Let's all collectively take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Oh yeah, baby. So it's essentially the five P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance, and this really accounts for every single aspect that you have in your life. You know, you're still working during the day. You still got during the night. You know, there's the element of being in charge of what you want to portray at work. There's the element of what you want to portray in your personal life. Then there is your physical, there's your emotional, there's your spiritual, there's all of these different things. And if you're not finding a sense of balance and treating the competition as it is just a regular day with obviously a little bit more expectation on top of that, you're not going to get very far. And if you're burning yourself out in a national final, imagine what the pressure will be like when you get to the big grand finale. Annette, I'm going to quickly jump in there before I go back to Vance on this side over here. How did you find a work-life balance when you entered that global final competition stage?
Oh, the build-up to that was so crazy. Like I said, sleepless nights, and how did I do it? So most of the times I couldn't sleep, but then what I did, I would have a day where I have my to-do list for the day, like this is what I'm doing. So thank God I was given like time off. Ever since I won, I was just told, you'll just be reporting to work at your own time and leave once you're done with your stuff. So I used to spend a lot of time at work. I would be at work at maybe by noon and then leave maybe at 1 a.m. with the rest of the team. And I'm not yet working, and I'm not even working behind the bar. So whenever I feel like, oh my goodness, this is not working, or I'm trying this, or I'm using this equipment, I'm not even sure if that is gonna work. I just used to take, right now I have so many videos leading from July to September. I'd be like, hi people, I'm doing this right now and I'm so bummed. It's not working, it's like this and that. By the time I'm done, I'm like, oh, okay, cool down, let's continue. Because then when I'm under pressure, I can't really enjoy myself with my friends. I would go to them, but then I wouldn't enjoy myself as much. So phone calls used to keep me busy. I'm a good storyteller, so something to take me away from that. And also, yeah, I think basically that's mostly what I did. And building up towards the globals, I was selfless. Ondu will tell you that. I was selfless. I was just all over the place, talking to everybody. I had practiced back at home. I had our Diageo team come to my workplace a couple of times, and I'd do my cocktail and have to tell them my story. and they will tell me more things about the brands and stuff. So at least in Shanghai, I was a bit calm. But then my prep day was my hardest day. That day, after the prep, I was added more time to finish my prep. So everybody's done, and you're there, and it's just like, ooh, crazy. But also every other bartender around me was like, oh, could we help? What do you need? What do you need? But then also the people working behind the scenes for our class were there to assist me, and they helped me. I wrapped up everything. We went on a cruise ship, so for our introduction day, which was very intriguing. I was so happy to be there. I went back to my room and cried that day. That was my hardest day. And I think the next winner, I will tell them what to do next. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much what I did. Yeah.
Speaking, crying, I think these are the things that we all experience on a regular
Because you're already here. If you forgot something back at home, you're already in Shanghai. There's nothing you can do. So it's just like, oh, fuck, Sorry for the word.
But that's exactly it, right? You have to have some sort of level of strategy. So taking into consideration, it's not just the competition that you're preparing for. It's not just the ingredients. It's not just your shopping list. It's not just your packing list. It's also the headspace. And there are a variety of different strategies that you can go for. I know for myself, especially when I feel slightly underprepared for a competition, and I don't mean to say this in a way that, I'm not going in with a winning mindset. I go in with a winning mindset based on the strengths that I have at that point in time. So if I know my cocktail's not that great, I know that I can pizzazz them with my personality and with my sass, right? So Bradley Jacobs, also one of our Diageo representatives here, he always said to me that diamonds are made under pressure. I will never forget this. This has always been something that has been in my head every time when I compete. Diamonds are made under pressure. And Vance, you put yourself into this incredible environment where there's so much electric energy at Speed Rack, a room that's just filled up with women that's just ready to rock and roll. Everyone's just ready to rock out with their cocktail shakers, ready to break that freaking track record and just be like, go, 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 go. So in a few words, can you explain to us the level of energy that you feel in the room and how competitors navigate that to create a strong impression for the judges?
Sure. The room itself is absolutely electric, as one would imagine. One, because the ladies themselves bring that electricity, they bring that fire, they bring that energy, they bring that anxiety. All of that stirs and creates a certain energy. And then you're amongst our fan band, as I call it, the industry. So we're amongst sisters and brothers in the industry who get it, right? They may not be feeling the pressure that the ladies are feeling on the stage, but they understand at some level what's going on, right? Because we're all in the same game. So the energy of the space is just this thick electricity that everyone can feel, that everyone's contributing to, right? There's this one kind of spine cause that everyone knows that I make sure is at the forefront, which is to support, right? Mm-hmm. The whole program itself is to, one, give a platform and to give support to these wonderful women who are gracing the stage with their presence. Also, ultimately, to raise money for this phenomenal, necessary cause of breast cancer research and awareness. So everyone's locked into those two things at minimum, right? We need to support and add to the energy that these ladies deserve, that the host is trying to pull out of everyone. And then also we need to stir everyone up to create this vibe of wanting to support, of wanting to give to this cause that it's all for. So, as I said earlier, the very least that I can do with being, as I say, blessed and graced with being able to hold the microphone, it's a big task. It's not an easy thing to do for anyone, right? It's not just you getting up there and you're introducing people. That's just the absolute bare minimum that you can do. It's always something more. You have to create, you have to feel it, right? You have to feel it. It was Maya Angelou, great poet, that once said, people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And that's through everything. That's through hospitality, that's through being on stage, that's through delivering drinks, that's through teaching, that's whatever it is. That's you presenting your cocktail to someone to be judged, whatever it is. You have to make people feel something. So that's what I hold. Throughout all things, I want everyone to leave feeling something. When those ladies hit the stage, and I know that they're a ball of anxiety, they're a ball of energy just ready to burst. They want to get it done, flying through these drinks as fast as they can, take on these fireworks and arrows and darts of criticism and critique that are coming from the judges. They deserve to at least have relief of feeling good vibes that are swirling around them. If you've got these arrows, the least we can do is to give good vibes and to give good energy. And they take that and move on with that. It's a sisterhood that they, within their region, right? If we're in Chicago, however many women, whether it's 50 ladies that have gone out, right, that have been practicing to make it to the top 20. And then those top 20 have been working together all day to make it to the top 8. And those top 8 make it to the stage. It's like just layers of sisterhood on sisterhood on sisterhood. And that's Chicago, that's LA, that's Mexico, that's Puerto Rico. It's this global community and global family that they've all gone through the fire. They've all gone through the anxiety, all understand the vibe that they're on. And that carries on, you know? So you have to, they tap into that. They tap into those that have gone through that regional final together, that have gone through those city competitions and trainings together. And then you get inducted into the club when you win. Or even if you don't win, you're still a part of it, you know? And that is a beautiful thing. That's an energy, a vibe, and a sharing that only they have because they've worked for it and they've earned it.
That's some hard work, spirit and soul right there. Yeah. And then let's quickly look at on the other side of things. For Burdi, you've mentioned earlier that you also see yourself as on the introverted competitor aspect vibes. You don't like to publicly speak, but everyone who knows you knows that you are a ball of fun and that you have that energy within yourself. How do you build your strategy to gain confidence, and how do you deal with imposter syndrome when you get onto that stage?
Imposter syndrome.
I think for me also it's the support that I have. So I have a really good support system going into the competition. I'm going to mention his name.
Yes, please. Yeah.
His name is Everett Dion. And as much as he gives me confidence and he makes me believe in that, and also it comes down to me. I also have to be like, you have to do this. You got to do this. You know. So him and also amongst like my close circle of friends, you know, we all bring each other up. And again, I am an introvert, 100%. But something in me that's also like, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of something big, and I just put myself out there, you know. And sometimes I stumble on words, and it always happens. And I'm just like, I'm like, breathe. And the judges are like, yeah, Burdi, breathe. You got this. You got this. So even having like the judges saying like, you got this, it's also all about believing in yourself. And it's also like back to that question on inspiring women to do more comps. I feel like also you have to believe in yourself and just, again, put yourself out there and do it, you know? I've always said to many of the females in this industry, I'm here to speak to you. You can come speak to me for advice and I'll give you advice. So, yeah. I'm keeping it short and sweet, otherwise I'm going to go off topic and fumble on words.
No.
So essentially what Burdi is saying is slide into her DMs if you want to have any further insights. But I mean, like, I love this this perspective, and also like acknowledging and saying that, you know, I am part of this crowd who does feel a little bit intimidated, and I won't stop myself from doing what I want to do just because of my own internal battle. in the end of the day, there is so much more as to why we're competing. We're not just competing to get that grand title, but we're also competing to show ourselves exactly what we are capable of and to push those levels of boundaries of being like, I'm not just going to make a lekker dop here, but I'm going to make the most lekkers dop that you've ever had with the full embodiment of who I am. And Annette, seeing as this is also your second time in South Africa, naughty little bunny, you. Last year, Annette and I, we had, I think it was a bonding moment in Fable. We were just dancing and cheersing, and it was just amazing to be in a space where there's another woman who comes from a different country, but we have that same level of energy, the same relatability. And I'm pretty sure that in the next couple of days you're going to be bombarded with questions from fellow women and male competitors who want to join the world-class journey. Do you want to share some of the tips on how to firstly get into the right mindset, how to figure out what strategy you want, and also how did you make use of the network that you had after the competition? Because essentially a competition is a full package, right? It's not just you arrive, you compete, you do your thing, and then you move. You build that level of friendship, you build that level of business connections, brand partnerships. Tell us the whole thing. Don't leave any details unknown.
Any detail left unknown, I'll ask you to give me that.
Dala.
My strategies. I say, do it scared. If you don't show up for yourself, nobody's gonna show up for you. So do it scared. Show up. I don't know this, but I'm just gonna go on stage and do my stuff. Let the judges judge me. Take your mistakes, take your correction, come back the next year bigger and better. If you don't win that year, take your mistakes again, go correct them. Mark for yourself. That's what I always say. Mark for yourself. As you're creating your cocktail, there is a guideline of what you need to do. This is a futuristic margarita and Paloma. How does your cocktail tick the boxes? Have you made a futuristic? What makes it futuristic? Have you honored Don Julio? What do you know about the brand? So that even if it's paper judged, the person reading it through can see what you mean. They can, because those judging you are the ones that have been bartenders. So from just reading your recipe and your story, they can tell. They can tell the type of drinks to expect. They can tell how your drink will taste and stuff. Yeah. So I would say that, and also read bar books. There's so many bar books, and some of them are so nice, and some of them came in from way back. They hold legends inside. Some of these techniques that are coming back to competitions are techniques that have been there in the industry way before I existed. Yeah, so read bar books and get to know your classics. Because when you're creating, also you might find a judge asking you, so what inspires you? And which drink does this represent? So also knowing the backbone of your classics gives you that confidence of creating. Because then as you're creating, in your mind you already know what to expect. So to me, if it doesn't work in my mind, it's not working in the glass. Yeah, that's what I usually say. And I had so many strategies. Oh, and find your muse before going to stage, like she said. If you need to sit in quiet, in a quiet space, or go to the washroom until the judge says, oh, and Cass is joining us on stage right now. That's when you're leaving the washroom, that's okay. I find it relaxing, because most of the time I would be with maybe my friends are there during the competition and they want to tell me about all these things. Because I talk too much, I'll find myself saying the things that we were talking about backstage. So I just separate myself aside, breathe in, breathe out until they mention my name. And what is that other question you asked me?
How have you made use of your network from like post-competition?
So my network, so this is what I've done. With my network, I've been able to like learn more about maybe drinks that I'm seeing that I've never seen. Okay, there's this guy, his name is Luca. He won an award at the global finals. He created a drink that is in It's a whiskey glass, but when he's pouring it, he's pouring two separate liquids. One is green, one is red, and they all end up separate in the glass. So with the connection we had, I'm more confident to be like, oh, hi, how did you do this? And what do I do to achieve this? So in my creativity, that's one of it paying off. And also getting help to get what I want for myself from the people that I've met in such communities. Yeah, because I meet someone, and if I feel this person can help me, and if I feel this person is passionate about what I am, or when we talk, I know, oh, Cass is passionate about this, and I'm also passionate about this. So I'm going to use this opportunity to bring in Cass to assist me. So my network mostly currently is mainly that, because I see them and I see my destiny helpers.
Yes.
That's what I call them.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I love that destiny calling. Yeah.
yeah. So
Use those assets, girl.
anytime I'm going anywhere, I had a hard time coming to South Africa last year because of personal reasons, but then I was gonna bank out, and it was my second time outside Kenya, and I just sat down and told myself, no, it's my second time outside Kenya. It's my birthday week, and I'm gonna show up and show off for myself. So I did everything that I needed to do to make me feel comfortable to be here. For me, it's just simple stuff. New clothes, some new shoes. I'm good to go. As long as I look nice, I feel nice, I'm like, oh no, nobody can tell me nothing. I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna show up. And also being here, I've met and being able to meet and to even talk to an organizer of such an event, that's big, incredibly big for me. And I was just like, oh God, help me meet my destiny helpers. And yeah, from Shanghai to here, I've met them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, you got to make use of that network, right? Connect, collaborate, and create. We've seen a couple of, an incredible focus on the last couple of years in terms of putting more effort from a brand side into the education within selected fields of competition. So we're seeing mentorship programs, we're seeing more information about certain categories. And there are more and more online resources that have become a lot more available, like big names that are attaching themselves to competitions. This is all fantastic, right? But I do want to speak about one particular thing. And I think it's not something that a lot of us really generally want to speak about, because it's quite a personal journey for each one in terms of how you experience the competition and also how you strategize and pre-competition, actual competition, post-competition. But let's talk a little bit about ego.
Oh no.
Naughty. Yes, I did. We've all seen that one person get a little bit too involved. We've all seen that person who wins the title and thinks that the sun shines out of their beautiful butt cheeks, if I could say that in the most cleanest way possible. What are we doing within competitions? What are we doing as competitors to help plan a little bit better on the attitude that we take after winning a title? And Vance, I'm going to hand over the mic to you to give us a little bit of your insight.
Take it away.
I wouldn't dare. Speaking about ego as just a topic as a whole, for anyone in particular in doing these things. We strive, we achieve, right? We achieve, we celebrate. You relish your accolades and your celebration, but you never forget that we're all on this ladder, and the ladder doesn't stop. There's another rung after you hit that one rung, and there's another one after that, right? It's not becoming complacent, right? So I'm not going to speak to one's head blowing up. I'm only going to speak to, you have to keep going. And one shouldn't have time to relish so long that your head begins to grow because you're on this one level, right? You sought out something and you achieved it. That's phenomenal. You deserve the accolade, you deserve to relish it. However, there's another chapter, and you have to move on to the other chapter. You have to prepare for the next chapter. So that is to say, you should always be a sponge, you should always absorb, you never stop learning, you never stop going, you never stop growing. Period.
Boom. Yeah. Burdi,
Yeah.
please show me your 3 cents.
I mean, we did also speak about this earlier. I feel like you just need to be humble. Just be humble.
Be humble.
Be humble, man.
Sit down.
You're a big fish in this pond, but once you step out, you're a little fish.
Yeah.
So, just be humble, and again, I love that. Be a sponge, absorb, and also teach.
Share.
Teach people.
Share, yeah.
Share your knowledge, how you got to the top. I would love that. I would be like, cool, how'd you get to the top? Give me some advice. And that's what I feel like we're lacking a bit here, a little bit.
And,
For sure, yeah.
and I would add to that, to not be afraid to share,
Yes.
right? Because that imposter syndrome can get, even when you win,
Yes.
even when you achieve it, you can still feel like, do I deserve this thing that I just worked so hard to achieve? And then your colleagues and our industry fan base will come up to you and they want to give you accolades and they want to know how you did it.
Yeah.
So don't get in front of yourself and hinder yourself from sharing or hinder someone else from receiving and learning because you're caught up on the struggle of if you deserve it. You did it. Celebrate it, relish it, share it, move on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Please add to it.
For sure, sharing is a mother. I really like to share, and I really get mad when I don't get invited to events where there are bartenders, and I feel like I should have been there to show Kenyans, this is what you don't know. You're gonna go on the global stage and be shocked. Yeah, so I feel share. And the ego, that's so, that can be so bad for you because apparently you might be egotistic and this person that you're denying the knowledge might actually come and pass you by. So, because it's life, it's the nature of life, you need to learn from them and them learning it from you. And yeah, I wouldn't say I've experienced much ego, only much of like, okay, what next? Yeah. So.
And even if you do get to that rocket point where you just, to some extent, almost self-sabotage, it's a reawakening of you to just realize you're just another person who's competing. And everyone deserves a spotlight in the end of the day.
Yeah.
And speaking of spotlights, we're now going to open up the questions to Everett over here, who's going to... No, joking. Anyone else would like to ask a couple of questions? And I know that you had a very, very daring question. If you would like.
My question is just basically around the barriers of what we consider as the barriers of people participating. And we all know that, myself, I remember there was a stage where I was thinking in isiZulu, but trying to speak English. You know what I mean? So it's very difficult to transit when you think a specific way, but want to speak a specific language. So I wanted to just ask, from a language barrier perspective, as something that is removed from a global platform where you can get someone who's a translator. Do we think we need to also relook that and saying people need to maybe participate, but the comfortability around presentation, it doesn't need you to understand a specific language per se. If you want to present in your vernacular, are we missing certain things that are barriers that are beyond just skills and the supports from your team? Are we also digging deeper into understanding the language barriers? That's what I wanted to ask. And from that panel, I think all of you guys have participated. And I would also assume that your skill level or your English levels are not the same. So if you had to participate in maybe Afrikaans or anything like that, how would that affect you?
Hello everybody, ek gooi 'n lekker doppies in.
It's my eyeball.
How would it affect your presentation?
I can just give you like a little insight in terms of how my brain works. I'm German speaking. German is my mother tongue. So majority of the time I think in German and I speak in English. The speech on itself, that's not a problem. I can translate that, no problem. But me acting in that way without being too German and just doing da 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 da, I feel like that could be slightly disconnected because that's not the same language that everyone else speaks. You can't always be on time. You can't always make sure that you're perfect. You can't always get that right tone in place, you know. So I feel a lot of the barriers that we put up to are actually our own personal barriers. It's the barriers that we put up in our own minds and thinking that, oh, because German is my mother tongue, I can't get this message across the same way how an English-speaking person would. So I think that's a bit of my insight in terms of barriers from a personal perspective. I know that there are a lot more barriers when it comes to brands, and I think maybe Vance, you can add some more to that.
I won't come from barriers as much as probably reverting back to when we were speaking about the evolution, right? And how competitions have become so much more diverse in so many different ways. So you now seeing how different competitions are becoming more curated. So there may be one that may be curated specifically for particular languages, particular markets, particular market needs, versus a large one kind of having all these different segments on the one particular stage. So there's certainly an evolution where there was none, and now you may see more diversity in how they are executed. And probably when you do get to the big stage or these well-established competitions, I think that there's now space and opportunity for accommodation. So if a translator was needed, then a translator could be provided or brought. So I think that, again, where that in the past, it may not have been given the time of day or the consideration, I think that as competitions continue to evolve, you're seeing them begin to diversify more, and then them also begin to accommodate the diversity in competitor and market more, which is what we need. And again, that's going to continue to evolve with time. Time is the only thing. Time and then bringing it to the forefront, to the table, like you just said, is the only thing that's going to change it. Me working with a particular brand and being of a certain background, there are things that are only going to come to my mind when we're sitting around trying to lay things out that may not come to someone else, to my colleague who's not of the same background, right? That's me looking at how an asset is created and saying we need this to look a certain way, we need more diversity, we need this in another language, we need whatever, or in how we execute, right? Where are we producing it? What bars are we choosing, right? Do they all look a certain way? Is it just the same, for lack of a better term, circle jerk? Or are we diversifying where we produce the events, right? If we go to particular bar accounts, that we want to be involved because maybe they have more influence than another, okay, oftentimes those particular bar accounts have a particular star bartender or someone who tends to get a little more shine than others. Well, I respect having them. However, do you have anyone else that could step up to the plate or could be involved? Or let me have them and someone else. I would like a female bartender to participate alongside whoever this person is. So I think we have to continue to accept the evolution, give it grace and time, but hold them to the fire and hold them to account.
Cool. Do you guys want to add anything?
So, like do ask, language barrier can be an advantage and a disadvantage. So in Shanghai, I got to meet and to talk to the 2013 global winner. His name is David Rios. So by the time David Rios was competing, he didn't speak English, he spoke Spanish. So you have a translator, but then at times your translator might translate wrongly. So that if your judge doesn't understand the language, it means they just threw you under the bus. So that has to be in consideration because you might miss out on something great because they translated it wrongly. But then if your judge understands your language, then you're at an advantage because they won't concentrate on what the translator is saying, but on you, on what you're saying. So I would say mostly if you're competing and you don't have your own translator, I feel you have to consider that. So it's an advantage and a disadvantage, but he got to win. So he had a judge who understood Spanish, and his translator did some wrong translation, but the judge could understand, and now it's into the other judge, and he was great. Yeah, so.
I wanted to add, we when you are in a competition, it's not just only about the speech. It's also about the sensory experience that you create around your presentation. So if speech might be a case of, how do I say it? Not neglect, but it's a disadvantage. You've got 4 other senses that you can tap into. And these all senses, we speak the same language. We look the same to an extent, we smell the same things to some extent, we feel the same things to some extent, and also touch is very similar from one to another. So if you're having a advantage in terms of one particular aspect, don't make that whole aspect your entire downfall, because there's so many other things that you can tap into. You just have to dig a little bit deeper and find an alternative way to express yourself. Wait, did you want to add anything to it?
All good.
Cool.
I think you guys all touched on translators.
All right, party people, next question. Don't be shy. Primrose, I see you sitting in the back there. Caitlin.
I liked what you guys were talking about just now about imposter syndrome. I think that's probably one of the biggest themes that I'm seeing when I'm talking to other women in the industry is we've all got this insane imposter syndrome. And I just want, maybe, it's not really a question, more of just I would like to see your opinions on something of like, when women can sometimes be undermined in their achievements because there's this wave of brands pushing like including women and diversity and all of that, so if there's like achievements, it's almost undermined sometimes within yourself and outwardly. And I just want to know like what's your personal opinions on that, especially like from the women, you know?
I'm going to just jump in there and I'm going to just say, like, the moment Ryan messaged me to host the panel, I said, is there no one else that can do this? Not because I don't want to do this, but because I feel often I get too much of the job, you know? And I said to Ryan, like, can we not just quickly brainstorm what other woman is out there that is able to put this kind of stuff together? And unfortunately there isn't, because of exactly that, because of that imposter syndrome, because we think that we are not worthy. We think that, okay, we've competed in a competition, we've achieved something small, but we still have got all of these other school fees to pay. Fuck it. You don't need to pay those school fees. Put it on your loan account. It's fine. You just like slowly graft at it. So I feel that again, it comes down a lot to yourself, you know, like what are you willing to put out there? Like how are you willing to put yourself into the spotlight? What are you willing to showcase in terms of your strengths and your weaknesses? Are you going to pull yourself together and get on that stage? And are you going to dada what you must? Or are you going to have an emotional breakdown and literally cry for a shot of tequila like I did in one of my competitions? I went completely blank. My mouth went so dry. The camera guy was tripped and like threw the whole live feed off. I was just like, well, there go my 6 minutes. But in the end, it was just, okay, fine. So I messed up this stage over here. It's not going to define who I am. I've got another 3 days worth of competition with this incredible crowd of people. I might not have done the best at that moment in time, but I know myself well enough that I can showcase myself in many other different aspects. So I think like, for me, the message is like, fucking do it, man. Like, no one is holding you back. Like,
Fucking do it.
whatever you've got going on in your head, that's breathe, in, out, chuck it over this one.
The worst that could happen is like, oh, I failed this time. Okay, I'm gonna show up next time. That's the worst that could happen. And maybe you might feel, oh, they're gonna judge me. They're gonna be like, oh, that chick fumbled. They won't even remember you. People have so many problems.
Yeah.
So move on. Next.
Next,
Also-
customer, please.
Stop overthinking things. And I do this a lot. I overthink things and I'm like, oh, I forgot to put citrus in the cocktail, and it is what it is at the end of the day, you know. Like, I feel like stop self-sabotaging yourself. You just need to do it, and you know, let people talk. It's okay. They will always talk. People will always be like, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. You are you, and you are going to be an amazing bartender, and you are, and you just need to.
Yes.
Also take some of that narrative that you have in your head, that imposter syndrome, and be like, okay, well, why am I doing this? What is this reflection of me? Why do I have this level of fear inside of me that I'm not good enough? Come on, like, it's okay. Actually, no, it is okay. It's completely okay for you to feel like that because it's natural. It's in the environment that we are. It's I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I will not say this. But it's a rough industry where everyone is there to cut throat. There's only one position. There's only one of this. There's only this. There's only so much time. There's only so many resources. So if you're going in the back of your head the whole time, you're like, nah, I'm not like this is not working for me. It's like, okay, no, but I get it. Okay, fine. I feel like this. That's fine. I can feel like this. I have the right to feel like this. But this feeling and this narrative I had does not determine who I want to be in 2 weeks' time when I get on that stage. So let me deal with this cuck right now and put that to bay and move forward so that when I get on that stage and be like, shit, like look what I've done. Like I've managed to go through this emotional process of showing myself that I am good enough. I am deserving of being here. And this doesn't necessarily mean just because you're a girl or if you're a guy. It's because you're a human being. It's a human law. It's human law of nature to feel that way. So you just gotta learn how to get through that. Your saboteur is gonna become your best mate after at least a couple of tequilas as well.
Oh yeah, and a mistake is just a mistake. When you've made a mistake and you're aware and you know what you need to do, you don't need to tell others because it's just gonna make you feel even worse about yourself. Move on. You're just like, oh my goodness, I did this. Oh my goodness, I should have done this, should have done this, should have done this. If it's something that you already know, like she said, I missed citric, you just know. That cocktail wasn't good and that one is gonna scrap me off next time. That's not gonna happen. Your boss or your chaperone doesn't need to know you didn't put citrus in there. Just mark it for yourself and you're like, next time, keeps you calm.
Journal. Journal. Questions in the back? Yes.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I had to type it down. What am I going to ask it? So that I don't forget. Afternoon, everybody. Nice to meet you. Well, just a nice, silly question. I don't have anything, very, intellectual to ask. I just want us to, have a nice conversation and whatnot. My question is, let's say aliens landed on Earth. And they demanded to try the best representation cocktail of your country, origin, or whatever it is. What cocktail would you make them?
Me?
All of them.
A representative of our country. So whatever you guys call pap, in Kenya is called ugali. And roasted meat, we call it nyama choma. So ugali, nyama choma, and kachumbari. Kachumbari is a mixture of onions and tomatoes. So that's a whole combo of like, if you're going outside to drink, now that's your fighter for the night. So I have a drink that I made using Johnny Walker Green Label. I used beef stock from our kitchen, infused it into the Green Label, and added some chipotle, which are like traditionally smoked chilies. And with this, I created a drink that represents Kenya as the nyama choma lovers. So the drink itself, from the nose to the taste, it tasted like you could feel the beef inside, but then it's smoked beef. So it's also a bit smoky with some of peppery stuff going on, because also Green Label has some pepper in it. So that's one of my favorite cocktails that I ever created. That was on World Class in 2023. And yeah, it's a representative of Kenya.
Nice.
That's what I would create.
Mine's gonna be like purely South African. It's probably going to be like a brandy and coke man. Honestly, like come on, brandy and coke, or a smoky cokie. Oh gosh, with like done something simple, something easy, and then they'll have the best time on this planet, and then just
Oh yeah, I want that today.
done.
Yeah, it's a
Let's have
classic.
one. Yeah, that's how it is.
America. My country's a dumpster fire right now. So in Jersey, we used to have this cocktail called the Jersey Dirty Water, and it's like everything that gets caught in the rail mat, and then you dump it inside of a cup. No, I'm just joking. I mean, if you want to represent currently, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about current state of affairs. If aliens came, I'd make the best old-fashioned that I could to represent the U.S.
Yeah.
And then flavor it with the dirty trash water.
I'm a punch girl. Not that I like to punch people in the face, but just I would like to serve you a punch.
Really?
Yeah, I've never actually hit someone.
Okay.
Never done that. But yeah, I'm also a big cocktail nerd. I love the history of cocktails, and the recognition of a punch seems like the fitting thing. Everyone who traveled around the world was introduced to the punch, the classic 5-ingredient recipe. And it would definitely have tequila, because I think there's probably more tequila in my system majority of the time. There's this cute little meme that the students made in the school. What's the wife, Family Guy? It's not Megan, it's Lois, yeah. We put it up into our whiteboard. There's like a box of pills, and then Lois just sitting there like bombastic side eye to that set of pills, and they labeled it as tequila. And it's literally exactly the same thing that happens in the school. Every time when there's a slight minor problem, all the instructors are just tequila. So tequila is going to have to be in that punch. And I'll obviously try to make it with some sort of natural South African flag ingredient. Let's throw just some rooibos in there. But essentially a punch is easy, because that's going to teach the elements of cocktail making to those aliens, and when they finish their journey here, they're going to stash a couple of bottles of that punch and then take it back to wherever they came from. So education's throughout the way. Yay.
Great. Good one. We got Steve also in the question.
Steve.
I don't have a question. I have many questions.
Yeah.
I'll answer questions to the rest of my life. But can I just give a little advice about imposter syndrome?
Yes, please.
Because I think it's a major deal for everybody in this room. And yes, it's added onto because you're a woman and you have to work in an environment, in a business that has been dominated unjustly by men for decades. But I have a little advice about imposter syndrome. I've been doing this a very long time, as you all know. Sitting up there next to Julio or listening to Colin, I'm still like a little kid. My school, Dale DeGroff is my business partner and one of my closest friends and a brother to me. I mean, I practically raised his son. I'm in my company working for me. Paul Packle, David Wondrich, Doug Fry, are you kidding me? These are the who's who of the business, and they're my business partner. They're the co-faculty, and now our faculty is 28 strong, and it looks more like this room than it does like me, which is awesome, because that's the way it should be. And we're changing the world because of that. That's, my point is this. I would look at your imposter syndrome issue as something you guys addressed already. Managing your ego and humility. Sharing is what we really do in this business. The one thing we get to do different than every other business is in this business, you have to be mentoring. In this business, you have to come up from the bottom. In this business, you've got to have somebody who gives a shit about you, put you under their wing, and show you, or you've got to find that yourself. Who can teach me? So instead of thinking of yourself as being unworthy or as an imposter. Look at yourself as a little kid. I still, to this day, when I stand next to Dale DeGraaf, I feel like it's such an honor just to be in the same room with this guy. And yet we're hanging out, having a drink together, because that's what we do. Think about it that way. Look at these people you're with right now. You're no imposter in this room. I've watched you work. You kicked ass behind that bar. You could teach people in this room some of the things you've learned. There's always something to share. To me, humility is essential in this business. Get over yourself quickly. If you're taking yourself seriously, you're in the wrong business. Take your work seriously, take your craft seriously, take sharing and educating yourself seriously. Stop taking yourself so goddamn seriously and have fun doing this. And instead of feeling like an imposter, say, I own this fucking town.
Yeah!
Last question. So, I'm assuming one of you guys have done cocktail competitions, Vance, right? You've done a cocktail competition. Like, Cass,
We were in Mexico. Like Annette, last year obviously going to Shanghai and everything, and B obviously getting to the finals. What's one piece of advice you would have given, like after it was all done, like you could have given to yourself beforehand? Well, like just one piece of advice that you would have been like, man, that would have just maybe not changed the game, but like really influenced the way I participated in this cocktail competition.
maybe you should give a piece of advice. Just say. International bartender.
I'll just say one piece, and it will be for anyone, you know, not that I did or didn't do it, but it's make sure that you read the instructions. Read the words, read the instructions. I've been in so many competitions, or seen so many competitions, judged so many competitions where they'll leave out the main ingredient. Like it's a bitters competition, and you leave out the bitters, you know, or yeah, they want you to make a phenomenal cocktail of this, but they want you to tell a story. And there's so much concentration on the making of the cocktail and creating that phenomenal cocktail that you forget they want you to tell a story. You know, they want to hear you share something. They want to hear and how your imagination works and where it goes. So, very simply put, read intently the instructions.
Mine would be post-winning, post-competition. I would say never over-expect. I wish I knew that, and I wish someone told me that before I won, because then in your brain you go like, oh yeah, now I've won, I deserve this, and of course you deserve everything, but then maybe those who are yet to give you that feel you're not ready, and you have to be ready to accept that. That took a toll on me, and I would tell that to everyone. Yeah, because right now you win, and you'll be like, oh, Sin and Tax, please make me the bar manager. And it's not gonna happen, and you're gonna cry your eyes out, and you're gonna feel some type of way, and maybe feel unappreciated at times, but then it's something that takes a toll on you, and it's so hard to surpass that I'm happy I've surpassed. Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
I think for me personally is like brand knowledge. Going into a comp and actually know what you're pouring with, you know? A lot of people forget about that. A lot of people just be like, oh, this is, and they don't actually speak about the brand or where it comes from, or you know. So I think for me personally, I need to hit the books and learn about the brands. That's one thing for myself.
I like to always start off the first day at bartending school with the students to say, people drink when they're happy and people drink when they're sad. Bartending is a timeless profession. And being in the shoes of doing a lot of things myself and working towards this massive goal and this dream of having this wonderful, multifaceted business that becomes this community hub, in the end of the day, I feel like I've done a lot of things even afterwards in competitions that have helped me gain more access to new competitions lined up. But one of the things I will tell you guys is stand your ground. Stand your ground when you have competed in a competition and things were promised to you that didn't happen. You are allowed to stand up and say, I don't feel like I got the return of investment. I've spent 15,000 Rand on this competition. I have put myself out there emotionally, physically, spiritually, the whole shablam. And I know that I've messed up in my own way. But if you say that I win this title and I get to do X, Y, and Z, follow through. And I've been in positions before where there was no follow through. And it ate me up and I was always just like, what the hell, like, what is this? So you want me to represent you and then you don't dada after? Sack, And then I actually just one time, in the most professional manner as well, had a conversation and say like, my guy, this wasn't right. Like, you've taken a lot from me and it's made me feel some sort of way about this competition. There's a lot of work to be done, but you are allowed to stand up and you're allowed to share your ideas on how you can do more within the competition space. And that's where I fall in majority of the time. I don't feel like I should be competing. I'm not an active bartender, but where I do offer guidance in competitions has been proven by the ideas that I've put out there after the competition. So put your foot down, say what you gotta say, do it in the most professional way, and don't focus on the problems, focus on the solutions. The solution is for you to grow better as one community together.
Well done.
And I think that pretty much wraps it up. We are on time. Are we on time? We still have 10 minutes. Question.
Yeah, one question. Something I've noticed as a common trait amongst people that win cocktail competitions is that they manage to stay constant and consistent throughout the process of the competition, and they also are there in the moment. How do you all manage to stay in the moment? What tricks and tips can you offer people in this room to be in the moment? Because what some people forget is that it is about the whole journey of the competition as opposed to standing up in front of someone and making the cocktail, because that's just part of it. Anyone? Tips and tricks? Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's good because when you do cocktail competitions, I think the thing that's helped me a lot is your prep. You've done your prep a lot. Like if you've prepped it, you've rehearsed it, you've done it 100 times.
Yeah.
And that's something people fail to do a lot of the time. Is they kind of wing it in the moment. And there's a space for winging it. But I do believe if you've done your prep, you can wing it a lot easier. When you've done this 100 times, you can wing it, and I think that helps you stay present because you know what it is. And the other last thing for me is I always try and create an emotional connection to the cocktail or to the story. So then you're speaking from a different place. You're not speaking from your memory, you're speaking from your heart. And whenever you talk about something you love, you're just a different person about it. So, and then you won't forget about it because you love it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's just a thing I do.
Speak from the heart.
The one piece I would say, and I've not competed in a very, very long time, compete in life every day, is to be intentional about being in the moment. It's like you said, Colin, it's a journey. It's not just that one moment when you're on stage. It's just not that one moment when you're presenting your cocktails, speaking about them, or it's not just that one moment when you win, because that moment is a blip. It's like getting married. Just the one I do part, right? It's there and then it's gone. And then you almost forget because there's so much other things going on. So you have to ground yourself to be intentional about being in every moment, right? Keeping it close to you, keeping the story close to you, keeping it near and dear to something that's genuine to you. Because again, that's close to home. You won't forget that, But be intentional about being in the moment and savoring every single drop of it as you can. Meeting and greeting everyone who's along the journey. Making those connections. Because those are the things that last. The memory is going to be the memory, and it'll fade and it'll adjust. But if you've got connections, they last, and they renew themselves every time you see those people. That's all I've got. All right.
Do you want to add anything?
Nothing much. I would say a friend of mine during that whole process saw me going through a hard time, or like I will tell her, I will complain to her, I will rant, and she would just tell me, look at the days after, not before. Like, okay, right now you're working towards that. I know it's you're under pressure. This drink is not working, but just think about. I already got there. I'm already on stage. This is what I'm gonna present. So,
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
keeps calm.
Yeah. I'd like to say that you have, like, there's a certain point in your time when you realize that certain things are within your control and other things are out of your control. And the sooner you realize what is within your control, your prep time, the amount of time that you spend in investing in yourself, etc., 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 that all makes sense. But when you get to a point when something in the competition happens that is completely out of your control, accept it, stay present, because maybe that is the door that's you're supposed to be walking through, not the door that you had initially planned out for yourself.
Hey.
But also on like that note, you with a bunch of bartenders in that room, and you feeding off each other's energy, and everybody's just super positive. And just say now, your mixing glass breaks. Everybody is there to help you. So it's like those moments that just get you through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The actual competitors helping one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we wrap up the stage?
Yeah.
Yes, Chef.
Last one. There you go.
Yes.
So, with all of you guys having competed, and I've represented South Africa and Africa abroad, specifically thinking about Diageo, what do you guys think the barriers are as to why an African hasn't won Diageo? Is it a presentation thing? Is it a resources thing? Is it an ingredients thing? As objectively as you can, obviously you guys will look at so you know there might be an emotional attachment to it, but just from an objective point, what are the barriers for entry and how do we jump over that so that we do have African being the global bartender for Diageo class or any other competition, for instance?
So, one of the barriers or things that I saw, we had a challenge of Blue Label, and the challenge was using technology, elevate the drinking experience of Blue Label. So, we have all our ingredients and we are rich. Africa is rich. And where it gets tricky is when they're asking about technology. In terms of that, I would say resources. Like, for us to compete with technology, we have to be as good as the Japanese. We have to be as good as the Chinese. Because then again, we might show up on stage and you have your technology stuff and there's this other person who has a great drink and their technology is even adding like 101 points to them. So I would say part of it would be maybe our resources, which I would say as Africa, we need to showcase our indigenous ingredients, how rich our land is, but also we need to be open to what the outside world is doing so that we stay at par with them. I would say maybe some of their stuff is not fresh. We could get fresh mangoes. I've had a really nice mango ever since I got here. Yeah, there's bobo, there's all that, but then maybe they don't get it as good as we do. So what sets that bar apart? If we need to ship in some ingredients or some substances, I feel we should be open to doing that so that we have something to showcase. So for my case, I had a global brand ambassador speaking to us like, what is your strategy? What are you planning to do and stuff? And I had something to do with spherification, which was so new to me. I just learned it. I just saw it somewhere and I was like, oh chef, I want my drink to be something like this. And it was like, oh, I have these substances, this and this, but then we had them shipped in here. But since nobody was interested, I've never really opened them. So he opened them because of me, because I asked. But then again, these are things that we can't get in our local market. But then it's something that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do verification, and there's like, oh, okay, what more are you gonna do? Because that has been seen on the global stage. the levitating glass has been seen on a global stage. So what else do you have to offer? If you can't find something sourced locally, then it means you're under the bus. So ideally, being open to experiencing what is being done internationally and mixing it up with your authentic African stuff. Yeah.
I think if I can just add, I think a majority of the time, if I put myself into a competitor stage, I've had the advantage of utilizing my company's money. As in, I have the finances to bring the ideas to light. And yes, even if I spend 15K on it and I'm eating peanut butter toast for the next 2 months, that's how it will be. And because that is the agreement that I have made with my business entity and with myself. It's a dual investment in that sense. I don't think a lot of competitors in South Africa have that freedom. I think that's where it starts. We know every single person that's competed in this room before, you know it costs more than 1,000 Rand to put a cocktail competition together. And I'm not even just talking about the vessel and the ingredients, it's about you and yourself. You know, for the girls, we get our nails done, this was 650 bucks. The hair gets done, that's 3K. Then the outfit gets bought. That's another. The bills, they just keep on ranking up because you want to present yourself as the most professional and the most polished person as you could possibly be. You just don't have that level of resources. So how can we make that level of resource available? That, I think, is another conversation to have. How can brands support that, and how can we make it that it's not just, okay, I'm handing you out a 500 Rand gift voucher to buy yourself a new suit at Markham's, but rather, how can we invest in you so that you understand the money that's being invested is not just for this competition, but it's for the way that you think about competing further, because this shit costs money. Things cost money, right? So I feel like that's one of the biggest barriers. There is just not enough money within the household to be able to go around for us to go and compete with an international market. I feel like that's at least what I can say in my aspect.
Strong answer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I just touch on it as someone who's a Diageo?
Yeah.
Oh, please stand up, please.
Yeah.
Stand up. Firstly, I'll say
Represent.
I don't have any bartending experience at all, right? I literally come from commerce. My background is purely strategy, right? But from a barriers perspective, what you asked, there's always the conversation around back of house, right? What it takes for you to be in front of that judge. To present what you're presenting. It's not necessarily you just waking up and saying, look, I just want to have a competition that I can come and shine. The competition needs to be created for it to shine. And that creation lands in a specific pillar that is advocacy, right? And advocacy is different. There's brand alignments, there's above the line advocacy, there's TVCs, there's so much. There's engagements like this, there's educational areas where we need to touch on when you're drafting an advocacy strategy. A competition is advocacy, right? But it's almost like sometimes you need to understand that a World Cup has FIFA, the association, and then has the teams that participate in the World Cup. So there's the back end, which are the people that are creating the platform, and then there's the talent, which are the other people that are participating in the platform. And those two need to engage better. You know, in saying, look, I'm talented, but this competition is not testing my skill set the way it needs to test. So those are the engagements that need to happen. From a financial perspective, you know, a business can easily say, look, we don't think world-class South Africa is, we have money for world-class South Africa. We are not growing. We are actually negative in all these categories. We did a bad investment or whatever, and then that falls into advocacy. That falls into restructuring and other people now losing their jobs, which is something that someone who's looking to compete in a competition may not be privy of from an information perspective. So it's just these engagements, as Vance said, you know, having conversations around barriers is a barrier remover in itself, because you now have some sort of insights as to what really actually goes into a competition. I mean, it's so funny that we sometimes even just argue around gifting. Gifting. If these people are participating, are we not going to give them anything? No, we have to give them something. Then you go to procurement and say, how much can I give these people for this? And procurement is like, where are you going to get that money? Then you have to go to someone who doesn't have money to ask for that money to be able to create all of that. And you don't want to obviously miss the experience, but you also need to understand that the business itself also has its own priorities. And within the different priorities, which are people, the commercial agenda and advocacy, you need to understand where you play from a property which is world class. And then obviously DBA looks more at training and just putting our brands out there. Some people don't really care about it. I know your brands, just give me my stock and I'll move. Some people really want to engage the brands. They want to know why Don Julio, why tequila is moving the direction that it's moving. And yeah, to answer that question, I think it's a conversation that's still ongoing. Competitions change. I think world class is trying its best, as me being part of the team. But there's always a room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, and we try our best.
There we go. While you're at it.
I would love to give you a judge's perspective, if you don't mind.
Yes.
It's not judging. I did a few years ago. Having watched and judged many people from Africa, and it's been slow getting people there. And yeah, the money is the big issue. Some years ago, I was brought up to Canada to judge their national competition. They'd never had one, ever. They didn't know what they were doing. We went up there and we helped them put it together. And afterwards, they asked if we could help them. Infrastructure, support from your peers, and working together to build your country. Diageo's not going to help you. They want to. That money story, that's your problem. Our problem is winning. You want to win? You just want to be representative. You want to go up there and kick some ass and say, look, Africa's for real. Whatever country you're from. It requires that all of you work together to build it. It requires that you're there to support each other. And for you, forget the money. We need the support of the company going, you talked about brand information, walking in there and not understanding it. Imagine how they feel when they find out when they get there that everybody else got to go visit the distillery. That everybody else got trained by a global ambassador from that company, but the people from Africa were left out. Yep. That's where you help, not with the money. Help by bringing those people who do give a shit about their brand to these guys and saying, I want you to know more about my brand. All they're going to do is be your ambassadors. But in a competition, they need that information to compete. And having seen Africa continue to grow, and it's blowing up, you guys are on fire. Yeah. You need to now work together to help each other. Whoever is representing South Africa needs your support. You guys should be quizzing them and working them. Seriously. And Diageo has to provide what Canada did. Said, okay, we want to win this thing. We're like, yeah, right, whatever. You guys, you're so far behind the rest of the world.
Won 5.
They've won 5 times since they brought us up there to say, well, this is what the judges look for. This is what you need if you want to get these people ready. These are the ways that you train your people, and it doesn't cost money. It takes people who give a shit standing up and saying, I want you to win. Yeah. Let's win this together, and everybody has to work together. The past winners have to help the next ones. Just like Calvin helped you. People have to step up. So it's about infrastructure and support. That's how countries get there. That's how the US finally won. That's how Canada's won. Never having won, never made the finals. The next thing you know, it's 7 years in a row they've got someone in the finals. Come on. Do you think that just happened by accident? That happened because they got serious and said, we're going to win this. and they hired people, and they put a structure together, and every single drop of it is past winners of world class, training the next people that are coming through. That's how it works. Lauren Moe, global.
Like I think that Stephen, what you just said was just like so mind-blowing. And remember, it's not just about what the brands can do for you, but what you can do for the brands. It's a teamwork element. So before we wrap up the session, do you want to just quickly announce all of the details for World Class that's happening now? I'm going to pass it over to
I love the passion.
Yeah.
I think me and Steve will disagree a lot this week, but you know, 100%. So anyway, guys, we are, as I said, we are trying our best. Obviously, not everyone will be happy with everything. We are trying to also showcase, you know, what we think, you know, as South Africa makes us, you know, sets us apart, and we want to also have an element of, you know, downtime, you know, drink more water, an escapism type of competition. So for the first round, we're going online. The online submissions will be moved, or I'd say, what do you call it when you scale down? No, not postponed. When you vet and you have a shortlisted to 40 cocktails, and those 40 cocktails will have a panel. I won't share the panel yet, but we're just finalizing those contracts with the judges, and then from that panel we will choose a top 20 regional finals, which will be structured as a world-class finale. So it will literally be a boot camp style, just 2 challenges, beautiful game drives, experiences, sound bars, like beautiful experience. So we want to be in a space where the bartenders themselves can actually really enjoy and immerse themselves in the experience, right? And then obviously we will do the national finals, depending on the dates now. I know that a lot of people have pushed back in terms of our timings. And we've sent that reverts to the team in looking at postponing the regional finals by 2 weeks. You know, as I said, the engagement is there, and we need to confirm venues, we need to pay for the hotels, and they want payments. You know, it's not like you're just gonna have a competition there. So the regional finals will probably be later in April. The first round will be a Johnny Walker Black challenge. We've put that in our platform. We've shared it in the different groups. I think we can engage the people that, you know, want the brief and they want to get a fuller detail from a briefing perspective. We are going to schedule some Zoom appointments nationally that people can join and record that session, where it's just a Q&A. People can just ask questions about the brand, about the competition, about the challenges, you know, and the timelines and all of that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I would have wanted to share. Yeah, but thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you. And then I think this wraps it up. Can I get one last big, massive round of applause? Everybody get up. Let's go. Please give a big round of applause for everyone that's here on the stage, for Vance, for Burdi, for Annette, sharing your knowledge, sharing your passion. And most importantly, also a massive thank you to Syntax for hosting us here, for Colin, for Mark, and for Alex for putting this together. And let's go and have a good time. How about that? Yes!
Yeah.